When I was little, I used to talk to someone named Ethan. My parents always said he was just an imaginary friend. Nothing to worry about. But to me, Ethan felt real. He wasn't just a voice in my head. He knew things. He'd tell me when someone was lying, or when to hide during hide and seek, even when I wasn't playing. He comforted me when I cried. He warned me when I was about to do something dumb. He was the only one who ever really got me. I mentioned him to my parents constantly, and every time I did, they'd exchange this weird look. Not scared, not annoyed, just heavy. Eventually, I stopped talking about him. I grew up. Life moved on. Then, years later, I brought my fiancé home to meet my family for the first time. We were sitting at dinner, laughing about childhood memories, when he joked, "So, am I finally going to meet this Ethan guy tonight?" My mom dropped her fork. My dad just stared at me like he'd seen a ghost. Later that night, he knocked on my bedroom door. He sat at the edge of the bed, and for the first time in my life, he looked afraid. He told me something I'll never forget. Ethan was real. He was my twin brother. We were kidnapped together when we were 2. There was a fire, chaos, panic, only I made it back. Ethan was never found. No body, no clues, just gone. The doctors said I might never remember the trauma. So my parents made a decision to pretend he never existed, to protect me. But somehow I remembered him anyway. I went searching. Old police files, faded newspaper clippings, even photos buried in the attic. I found one picture. Me and Ethan, identical clothes, holding hands. His name was scribbled on the back in my mom's handwriting. They hadn't forgotten. They just buried it. And then the dreams started. Ethan, standing in the woods, silent, watching, waiting. Each night he moved closer, until one night I asked, "Is it really you?" And he smiled, just once. I went to the last place they searched for him, behind my grandparents' old house. The woods were overgrown, thick with silence, but I felt like something was pulling me in. Near an old tree stump, I found a toy car buried in the dirt, red, rusted, barely holding together. The exact one Ethan always carried in my dreams. When I picked it up, I swear, I felt someone wrap their arms around me, like a hug I'd been waiting my whole life to feel. I brought it home. I keep it by my bed. Sometimes when the house is quiet, I feel him. In the creak of the hallway floor, in the way the lights flicker when I cry, in the warmth that settles over me when I whisper his name. They said Ethan was imaginary, that I made him up, but I didn't. I couldn't have, because love that strong doesn't just disappear. And maybe he's never stopped looking for me either.